No. Hey!
Hello, everybody in Zoom. Woohoo! Happy Sunday!
It's Sunday night, 7 p.m. Jean-Luc and Nick, we're here. Campfire's burning behind us.
With a beautiful lake. I'd actually like to be there
Right now? Well, you're here.
Well, I mean,
You
I
wanna
would
be
like
here?
the fire. I would like all of them to be out there with us by the fire. That's what I would like.
So, yes.
Sunday nights, here we are, making up words as we go along.
We like to sing
Silly songs. And I'd like to make up the words.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Oh, I closed my rings.
That's
Yay,
awesome.
I closed my rings. Wait.
Are you doing it?
Yep, there we go.
Take one.
Jean-Luc and Nick.
That was loud.
Take one. I
Wow.
love this thing. It's so much
You
fun.
probably.
I'm like, sorry, it was very loud, but I don't know my own strength. This is a cute little gift that we got from Matilda for our wedding anniversary.
Yes.
And I absolutely love it. It's going to be part of our show. I'm going to use it. When Nick does laundry, I'm going to be laundry take one. When I do cooking, it's going to be Jean-Luc take one. And it won't always happen in a show. We're just going to use it all the time. It's going to be part of our life from now on.
We'll be in. I was gonna say something like we'll be in the bedroom. Take one. Well, you know, he's basically saying he's
Nicholas.
gonna use it everywhere.
Nicholas, I did not even go there. I did not even go there.
So we are live. My name is Nick,
And I'm Jean-Luc.
and we are known as the Wellness Warriors. We have a YouTube channel. We're on all social media. We'd like to just share our journeys with all of you because we struggle with our weight our entire life, and we're going live tonight on TikTok and Instagram for
Yes.
the first time for our Sunday night shows. So welcome to the family, TikTok and Instagram.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday night show. We also have a Zoom room that's open for people to just participate and be able to feel like they're part of an audience and interact. We interact a little bit before the show as well. So if you're ever interested in jumping in with us, let us know and we can send you that info.
Exactly. So we have a word of the week. So the way we do a word of the week is whenever we say it, you have to take a sip of water to get your water in. So the word of the week this week is together.
Together.
So anytime you say the word together, you got to take a sip of water.
It's really funny because I never realized that we don't really notice how many times we actually say just words in general.
Yeah.
And so like tonight, we're going to see how many times people say the word together. Hopefully a lot.
Of course, the word corn is always a usual water drinking
That is
game.
a staple.
It's always the rule. So always drink water when we say
If
those
we
words.
see corn, if we hear corn, if we eat
If
corn,
you're a corn.
an ear of corn.
Would you like potato? Oh, we love potatoes.
We love
potatoes. Are delicious.
But we don't eat them very often,
No.
actually.
So we did do a video earlier today about our mail call. We want to give a shout out to a few people who sent us some mail and the gifts we got at the body picnic yesterday. So Carol from the UK, Lynn, Debbie, Matilda, Heather, thank you so much for everything you guys gave us. We actually got another letter that we forgot to open today, so we'll put it next week and we'll open that one next
it
week.
was in another envelope that we missed when we opened it. We're like, oh, we didn't tell anybody about this one.
Yeah,
so we'll open it next week.
We'll open it next week. And so I really wanted to talk about that.
Excellent.
So first thing, you want to talk about the picnic yesterday?
Yes, let's talk about the picnic yesterday.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were asking about yesterday's picnic. So a lot of you already know about a body. For those of you who don't know a body is a low impact fitness class, a walking fitness class.
Yeah.
And just recently, earlier this summer, Nick and I have become a body step instructors. So they've added Antonetta, who is the owner of a body, has allowed us to certified us and allowed us to become step instructor, low impact, of course. And so yesterday was the very first annual A Body picnic. Where we were all able to meet in person, or at least some of us were able to meet in person. And it was such an amazing experience after 18 months of seeing everybody in small little Zoom boxes and physically interacting with these people. There was, of course, COVID protocol. We had a check-in point. We had to make sure that there were questions were asked and people signed in. We were wearing masks as much as we could when we could. We weren't, especially around the food. So, it was really, really well done. I was quite impressed. I felt very, very comfortable with everybody. I love the fact that we were finally able to meet so many of you, because it feels like we've already known you. And it was really interesting how when you first meet a person in a box this big, but then when you meet them in person,
you're
for example,
so tall.
Lynn Bordage, she's tall.
Yeah.
Extremely tall. Terry Lynn, very petite.
Which is you don't see in the box.
You would never know
what people look like.
what they look like.
from seeing in a box, right? Nobody sees.
And perception. It's all about perception, right?
So it was a lot of fun. It was an awesome experience. It did rain at some point. There was a lot of food.
Well, even Marjorie came up to me and I looked at her and I was like, I have no clue who this is until she actually took her mask off. When she took her mask off, I was like, she looks familiar. But when she took her hat off and her red hair fell, I was like, oh my God, it's Marjorie, right away. So it's really funny how certain things make you identify certain people.
And it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. If there's probably going to be, it's an annual thing. That's why it was the first annual body picnic. So next year, it'll happen again, and hopefully by then it'll be even easier to get more tickets.
I love what Patricia said. We're leaving Winnipeg for last because they're the best. I love it, Patricia. Save the best for last. Definitely. Can't wait to meet you and Jana someday.
Someday it's gonna happen.
That will happen.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's definitely gonna happen. So another thing we want to give everybody an update on is the body steps. So we've had a lot of people reach out this week and say, I had no clue you guys had weekday classes. So I want to make sure to reiterate our new schedule for a body step. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 a.m., Saturdays at 10 a.m., Sundays at 11 a.m. So if you're interested in trying the class, send us a message, send us an email, let us know what you want to actually try the class, because the first class is a free trial. So if you want to try it for the first time for free, let us know and we'll send you all the details, okay?
And guess what? Australia picnic, I'm in. Who else is in with me? Raise your hand. Let's all go to Australia and have a picnic. I'm definitely in for that. I think we can travel to Australia, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll do Mexico first and then we'll plan Australia next.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
So we do have a lot of questions tonight. Again, if you are in Zoom or if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, send us questions anyways, because if we see them and we can actually catch them, we'll actually be able to actually take your question and answer it live. And so the first thing we want to talk to you guys about is she already lowered her hand.
Oh, okay.
So the first thing I want to talk about is we had a question a few weeks ago from someone on WWE Connect US about asking if you ever thought about putting together a recipe book or a cookbook. Yes, this has been a project that's been ongoing. It's very hard, and it actually ties into.
It's not even that it's difficult. It's that we don't know how to do it. We've never put a cookbook together, so we're not exactly sure where to start, how to even start. And we've been doing some research. Yeah. And there's a lot of little things, and not only that. There's another question that ties into that. We do both work full-time jobs.
That's what I was going to say. So there was another question asked. So from Myrna, she asked, you guys work full-time. How do you find the time to schedule yourself for all the extra but also important things you two do, like the two of us? Yes, we do work full-time. Both of us have full-time jobs, 9 to 5, well, 8 to 4, because that's what I work.
7 to 3,
depending on the 8-hour day. And so we work every single day, and then we do this on our spare time. But this has become more of a hobby for us. It's become something that we love doing. So think about it. If you love knitting, right? And you at night, the thing you do is sit down and watch TV, you start knitting. That's your hobby. Doing this kind of show, doing our stuff we do with the body step, everything we do on our Facebook group, it's all partial to something we love doing.
And it's almost like it doesn't feel like extra work.
No.
Because it's intertwined into our life so much. Like, for example, it's easy for us to think, oh, we're going to go do this thing today, but we're going to shoot video while we're doing it because that's what we would do normally, right? Exactly. So a lot of people are like, you need to take a break. You need to do this. But we're like, that's part of who we do, who we are. That's what we enjoy doing. And we love the intricacies of having to put it together after we've actually made the video.
Yeah. So I wanted to so we do both work full time but we make it work. And I think that's the thing. There's a video we did or a live show we did in 2019 called Planning 101. If you want to know how we do our life, how everything flows and how we are able to do what we do, look at that video, Planning 101. I'm a very algorithmic, mathematical, logical, organizational guy.
And I love calendars.
And he loves calendars.
And it has to be color coded, and I need colors to see what's where.
The two of us, I'm not color coded, he is, but the two of us have mixed kind of our two things together, and we've created a pattern for us of things to make our lives a lot easier, right? So things to speed up some things. For example, a grocery list, right? A lot of people have inventory lists or they have grocery lists. What we've done is we created a system that food in there is all current. All in the other spot here is our extra. If you use the extra, you grab your phone. We have a list of all our food. You uncheck that food. It goes back to the top. We're very organized in that way, so we're not wasting time. And that's the thing. We do a lot of things to be efficient, as efficient as possible, because that's how we work. Like, for example, sometimes we go.
I don't know what example you're making me say.
Sometimes, for example,
for example, talk.
No. I thought you wanted to say something, and I wanted to let you talk, because sometimes Do you okay if I give my example?
Of course, I was
Okay.
waiting for you to
So,
talk.
for example, we'll often say, okay, today we're going to meet some friends. Okay, so we're actually at noon, we're meeting them for lunch. So what can we do between that breakfast and lunch to make ourselves active? So say, well, we have videos to film. So instead of sitting down watching TV and waiting for that lunch to happen, we'll film a video. On the drive there, maybe we'll drive there and we'll say, oh, on the way there, there's a path we can stop at and take a walk and film a video there.
Or we sit down in the car and make up lyrics to a song as we're driving, which
we do all the time.
We always look at doing two things at once if we can, if it's possible. But I will say this, there are times where that doesn't work and we're in a funk and it's like nothing's gonna make us get out. It's not that nothing's gonna make us get out of it, but how we are able to get out of it is because we already have things pre-scheduled. And so by knowing that we have something to follow, it's easier for us to go, okay, you know what? I need to look at this calendar. I need to look at my things to do and knock off the things that I know I'm able to do with the mindset that I'm currently in.
Yeah.
And not just let those things linger, because the longer you let things linger, the harder it is to get back on track again. So it's a lot easier to say, okay, I might not be able to handle my entire list of 20 things, but if I handle these small little things and get those knocked off, my list shrinks. So I'm feeling accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I feel better because I'm able to accomplish the bigger tasks that are on my list.
And I've also shown it on that. We showed on that video from 2 years ago, how we break down tasks into minute lists instead of creating a big task list. So instead of saying cleaning, you create a list of what I want to do this weekend. You say cleaning, banking, go shopping, do groceries. We split down even more. Cleaning, okay, vacuum.
I'm doing just the windows.
The cat litters. Like we put down every single item because you know why? As you're crossing off each item, you're like, oh my God, look at this list. It might have 30 things, but I've done 20 of them already. Cleaning might not be done. The entire cleaning might not be done, but 20 parts of it are complete. And that makes you feel better.
A big red X.
Anybody who's seen Revenge?
If you ever saw the TV show Revenge, when she
Sharpie?
X out the red Sharpie, you X on that list and it feels so good. Yeah. And it's a silly little thing, but it really helps the mind when you're able to see that you've done something.
So I hope that answers your question, Mira, because that's basically how we're able to do this, how we're able to keep our lives do our full-time jobs and also at the same time run this and do this kind of stuff. It's just the way we are. We've learned how to be, and we do everything together. We work together. This is a partnership. We've come
to terms with the fact that we are technically one person. We know that's silly to think, and a lot of people don't get it, but we don't function well when we're apart. No. We function better when we're together. And alone for us is the two of us. When we are together, we are alone. We could be completely silent for an hour and a half and not talk, which doesn't happen very often. I'll be honest with you. Maybe 10 minutes of silence happens, but we can be together for anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes and it doesn't bug us. We are doing our own little thing. All of a sudden, one of us will pop up an idea and then we're like, oh, let's do this or let's do that. Or we need to do this.
The songs that we come up with, literally, it's a collaboration. Like we both have a laptop and we have our phones and we have a Google Doc where all the song ideas are on this list. And one day we'll look at the songs. Oh, this one's a good one because we just always write new song names and we'll bring it up. I'll start writing the lyrics and then he'll go over and he'll change a few things. And I'll go over again and I'll fix it again. And it's a collaborative effort. We both work on it together.
And the fact that technology allows us to collaborate live on lists, if that is something that you struggle with someone in your household, with a friend, with this, look into using those collaboration, the technology that's out there to allow you to be more efficient in that sense.
Yeah. So that's the main way we keep stuff going in terms of how we keep ourselves busy and making sure that we can get everything done. John asked where the cats are tonight. So Seba's right here. He's sleeping on the scratch post, and Keikos is on the other scratch post in the living room.
And we got them a condo for their 9 years with us. Yes. We bought them a new cat condo. It hasn't arrived yet, but
it's gonna arrive sometime
Tuesday, hopefully.
So next question.
You want me to answer that? Ask the next. Which question am I going to? Can I pick? Okay, so I'm gonna go for the very first question on the top of the list. It was at Caitlin C81 from Instagram. It says, name something you like about your body and something you dislike about your body.
So that I like. Who was this?
It was Caitlin C81 from Instagram.
So okay, let me see what I like about my body. So it has to be my eyes. I'll pick my eyes. I really like my eyes. Look into my eyes, right? No, I like my eyes. I'll choose that. What are you choosing as the thing that you like?
The thing I like about my body? I like my height.
Oh.
I like how tall I am. I like that I'm and
little tidbit, everyone.
It's so funny. That's such a hard question to answer. And I'll be honest with you, because you know what? We're the most critical people, and that's everybody, right? And I think I like my body, but there's always wanting to be better, right? There's always wanting to improve. But I can finally say at this time in my life that I like who I've become. I like who I've become, and my body wise, I'm pleased with the way I look. I'm happy with how I feel. If there's anything that I would like to improve, I'd like to not have man boobs, but guess what? That's who I am. And if I can't be okay with that, I need to figure out how to improve that feeling with myself.
Exactly. And for me, the place that I dislike the most about my body, I think, would be this area right here.
Like I said, man boobs.
My man boobs.
Yeah.
If it's the one spot, like if I'm wearing clothes, it's funny because I actually even thought of getting a man girdle, a myrtle.
We did buy one.
Yeah,
you remember we bought one?
Tiny.
It was so it didn't even feel like we could not even.
I couldn't even get it over my head.
And it wasn't like he wanted it for when we'd wear dress shirts,
yeah.
Or, you know, because sometimes when you're wearing a dress shirt and you're trying to get a picture, and you know what?
Self-consciousness is not just for women; it's also for men. It's for everyone. Everyone has something about themselves that when they go out, they're like, "Oh, I have to wear this because I can't wear that because it makes this flaw appear." And I'm pretty sure out there, everyone thinks that. There's all of us. And
it's funny because Lynn goes, "You guys look so thin and trim." I noticed that yesterday. But it's funny. Again, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? We look at ourselves in the mirror and we're able to criticize about the way we look. No one else would criticize about the way we look. No one else would say that.
See, in chat right now, Lynn said she noticed yesterday you look slim and trim. And then Sarah said you guys both look fantastic. And as much as I say that, you guys say that to me, my brain still always goes to, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, I have this. And I think we all think that way.
And I don't know how many people I've given compliments to this at the party, or at the get together yesterday. And they were like, you could see people, we have a hard time taking compliments. And even being grateful for comments that are made to us. And I think that's the lesson a lot we need to learn, is just simply saying thank you. And you know what? We need to learn how to say thank you to ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to compliment ourselves. And I'm one of them that needs to do it.
Well,
more
we both
often.
are. Yesterday, I'll be honest. And I want to thank everyone, because there was a lot of comments yesterday about how we've helped people. A lot of people came up to us one-on-one and said, you guys really helped me, and I want to thank you. And it's very hard for us sometimes to take the compliments still to this day, because we just feel like we're two guys who like to talk. Like we're used to we're just guys who blab a lot, who like to, just share what we go through. And we come
up with a funny thing here or there sometimes,
right? And that's the thing. And so we think it's hard even for us to accept compliments. We totally get it if you guys have the same issue. Sometimes the best thing is just to say thank you. Want me to do the next question?
Yes, you pick the next question.
So the next question was again from Instagram, from Winter Fairy. She's asked, Winter Fairy 09, do you think it is harder to stay on track on weekends? If so, any advice or tips on how to stay motivated? Yes, it is harder to stay on track on weekends.
Definitely.
It's always been for us.
It's idle hands. That's the way. It's the idle hand syndrome. Monday through Friday, we work from like 8 a.m. Well, we work out in the morning, and then we work all day till 4 a.m. So we're able to control ourselves because we're busy. Yeah. So we're not thinking about food. But on a weekend, when you're not as busy and you have more time given to you, it's a lot easier to go towards the fridge, go towards the pantry, make decisions, go out with friends, pick something up at a restaurant, order in instead. Those days are a lot easier to do that.
Yeah, and that's what we had to do in terms to, and we still have struggled to this day with weekends. Like I'm not gonna lie, weekends are still something that we struggle with. It's still something that once in a while we go over the deep end, because we're human. It happens. But what we've learned to do is, because we know our weekends are sometimes harder to maintain, when we know weekends are coming up, that there's an event coming up like this weekend, or we know that there's a birthday party coming, we make sure the week before we try to apply and eat the best possible that week, right? So that's what we try to do in order to make sure that
and look at this is happening to us 2 weekends in a row. This weekend we had the get together, and can't control what people are bringing, and we didn't want to control what people are bringing. We wanted to enjoy the foods that people were bringing. And then next weekend is our 10-year wedding anniversary. Next Friday is our 10-year wedding anniversary.
So we're going to indulge again.
We wanted to go out. And originally, we were looking today. We were going to book a dinner at the CN Tower, the 360 restaurant.
But
it was full. So we weren't able to book the restaurant.
You think we would have thought of this maybe a few weeks
we didn't.
ago?
We were like, we're like,
no, we planned everything else, but a dinner for the two of us? We'll wait till the last minute.
But never thought that getting 2 seats at a restaurant
during
COVID, like, we never thought it would have been an issue, but it is. But we're not going to make a big deal out of it. We found another restaurant that's closer to home. We're going to go out for dinner, a nice Italian restaurant, just the two of us, and celebrate, small, nothing major.
Nothing major, just...
We were supposed to be in Mexico for our 10-year wedding anniversary, back to the resort that we originally had gone to for our wedding. And so now we're going to just celebrate it in Mexico in February with everybody else.
We had a question on Instagram I actually want to ask. So do you ever think about being coaches? So we've been asked this question a lot. And the reason that we can't be coaches was back in the day, we couldn't be coaches because we couldn't take the schedule that coaches have. So what would happen is that back in the day when it was in person, we couldn't commit to being in a studio all the time. We were always traveling. We always went to see our families are in different cities. So we would travel a lot. So it was a harder thing for us to do. And now after doing this for so long, we wouldn't want to switch to become coaches. We like doing this way. We do, however, do we want to say that we are actually going to be going to school?
Yeah, I think we can tell everyone it now.
We are going back to school.
Jean-Luc and Nick are heading back to school.
Yeah, we are going to get our life coaching license,
our certification. We're going to get certified as certified.
We want to become legit people. We want to make sure that when we help people, we know that what we're doing
that we're
is
able
right.
to lead them in the right direction. Yeah. We want to be able to do that, right? There's a lot of intricacies behind speaking to people and encouraging them and making them.
And we don't know the right way to do it.
And what we've been doing is we've apparently been doing it
okay,
but maybe we can get some even more, learn better techniques and learn better ways to foster this inclusivity and foster this acceptance of our own selves.
And we're hoping that's something else that we can start offering in the future for people that have sessions with us. So is that something we can do group sessions? So who knows? Yeah, so it's something that we want to try. Again, we always do these adventures, guys, and it's always like based on what the wavelength of our lives are going. We think that's like something that's we love empowering people. I realized this with my new job. I love giving people praise and helping them realize their full potential because I think all of us have a lot of potential.
You need cheerleaders behind you sometimes, right? Yeah. And we want to be that cheerleader
with the right tools in our tool belt, so we're not,
But I also think sometimes we all need a little tough love at the same time,
exactly.
Right? So it's finding that balance. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'd be able to give tough love.
You're welcome, Carlton.
I will definitely try.
So next question, actually, it was a continuation of the same question. I think I just deleted too quickly. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was. Oh no. Okay, then never mind. Let's keep going.
So I get to pick a question next, and I'm going to pick one that Patricia sent to us earlier because Patricia's like, don't forget to answer my questions. I might not be able to get to all of them, Patricia, tonight, but we will keep them on the list.
We keep all questions for future weeks. So if we skip one today, they'll come back in the following week.
So I'm going to answer 2 of her questions because one of the questions is really easy. The first one, she's asking when we're weighing in again because we haven't weighed in for the month of September on October 2nd because it's our regular Saturday weigh-in. So we will get back on Saturday.
It'll be different.
There will no longer be a song, most likely.
There won't be a song
going to be weighing in
because the songs have changed now. The songs have been split away from the weigh-in, so
because they last longer that way.
Yes, and it's a lot easier for us to create songs and not have to stress out about weighing in. So weigh-ins will be live like this. It'll be us getting on the scale live, and we'll actually be going simultaneously live on multiple platforms, so you guys can see us. And I'm hoping we can maybe try to step on the scale, have the number come in and lift the scale up to show you guys
what the number is.
So you guys can actually see the number really on the scale when we actually weigh in. So we're going to try that.
And then the next question I wanted to ask that she was asking that I was going to answer is, I like this question here. Who's the most challenging person in your life for causing you to stray, of course?
Off course.
Same difference, right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny, Nick and I, when we saw that question, we were both like pondering and we were both like, but I'm going to give Nick's answer because when he said it, it was so true. Myself. We know
what to tell each other to get the other fall off. Like if I'm like, oh, what it happened Friday, midnight. You want to order a pizza?
Okay. It wasn't very difficult.
I just asked him once and he said, sure. And we ordered pizza. You know what I mean? Like we know we are our own saboteurs. And it's funny because we know when he wants something, he'll hint at it in a way that he knows he'll grab me.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, right?
Most of the times it's me like walking around the kitchen going, I don't know what to make. What do I make for dinner? I don't, or I know it's really late and I'm like, I really don't feel like being in the kitchen right now. Right. And it's that and he knows. And that's the thing is we are the ones, as far as if you really want a person, I think people don't usually make me go over the edge, but situations make me go over the edge. I think it's more situations
because
I don't think a person has ever made me go, oh my God, I want to eat so much.
Yeah, there's no one that like it's usually mostly like a stressor, or if something is cause us stress or anxiety, something is coming up that we're nervous about, that sometimes will allow us to stray off. This time of year is also another time of year that for us it's very dark. It's very difficult for this. And when the time changes in a few weeks, that's even worse. When that happens, my worst time of year for my depression is from November to January. That's my worst time of year because of the darkness and because everything's getting so dark and dreary. And so for me, it's very tough. So it's all about different things that trigger us. It's not usually a person that does it for us. I wanted me to do the next question.
Yes, of course.
I have a question. I've got a question.
Go ahead, Rosie.
I was like, who's that?
So, Leslie actually asked this: is what makes you feel most empowered?
What makes me feel most empowered?
Oh, thank you, honey.
He lifts me up. Like we both question ourselves all the time. I always create a graphic and I'm like, does this look okay? To make sure that he tells me it looks right. Like I still have to get validation from him to approve it, to say, yes, it's good. So he empowers me. He tells me when I'm singing, I'm doing a good job. Even though I tell him I sound like a squealing cat, he still asks me to sing. And so like, you'll see me in my TikTok videos, I'll sing for a bit and I'll shut up for a part because I'm like, I don't know what note to go next. So I just shut up and let him keep going.
The thing is he's not tone deaf. He just can't hear tone. Like he can't figure out the notes. He's not able to.
I can listen to it and copy it.
He's a copier. He's like the calling birds or the mockingjay in what's that movie? The Hunger Games.
I was like, To Kill a Mockingbird.
No, not To Kill a Mockingbird.
Wrong movie.
He can hear a sound and he can mimic the sound, but don't ask him to sing it on his own.
Yeah.
So if I sing something and I'm singing it in tune, he can follow along, no problem. Never, ever. We cannot harmonize for that reason because he can't hear the notes that sound good together. Because as soon as we go into a harmony, I'm like, honey, that's really off.
I'm like,
and then I'm off, so it makes it sound really off.
There's a few takes sometimes on some of our songs because Nick just can't hit the notes. So it's like we have to figure out where does he skip next time. So he empowers me. He does.
Oh, thank you, honey.
And then my mom empowers me a lot too. She always is supportive of any crazy idea we come up with. Like, hey, Mom, we're gonna do this next. Oh, that's great. Can I join? Can I help you with that? Like my mom is completely always empowers us and helps us on our journey.
And I'm going to go in a different route because I'm not going to go name a person. I
guess I don't empower him.
You do automatically empower me, and that's not what I'm trying to say, but
I'm just being funny.
Empower him. You know what empowers me is finally being physically active. That has empowered me. I've never felt so capable of doing things before because I'm physically active, and I've given myself that pat on the back because Jean-Luc was lazy before. Jean-Luc never wanted to be physical. Jean-Luc never wanted to have, do a workout. Jean-Luc never wanted to go for a walk. And now I look for reasons to do it. Like
we've talked about it before. We used to go to stores and purposely drive to one door of one store, get into the car, drive to the next store.
And literally they're next door to each other.
And we did this all the time. We were purposefully lazy on everything we did. And now we've changed that to be purposely active in everything we do.
And I'm going to steal Gwen's answer, Gwen, because you are so right. This group is incredibly,
you all empower us
and powerful. You guys are the cream of the cream, like the cream on top. You're with the cherry and all because you guys do not know what you do for each other without even realizing it. And for us,
like the amount of yesterday during the event, hearing everybody's stories, like Louise talked to us. So many people talk to us about what they change, or life changes, or what it's changed for them based on things that they've heard from us, or from a body, or from the whole community,
from any of you.
And it's just insane to see the changes that people in their lives are doing, how much positivity or people are getting from all of you doing this. It's not just us. It's all of us doing this.
We're
It's all
doing
of
this
us
together.
sharing, right?
Yeah, we're doing this together.
We're doing this as a community here, and that's what we love that. So that definitely empowers us. That's a good answer, honey.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, that was Gwen. I'm giving it all to Gwen. Gwen answered that question better than we did.
Yeah. So Carmen had a question. So it was almost tied. It's tied to the scale again. That same that Patricia was asking. She asked, "It has almost been 1 month since you weighed in. Are we nervous about jumping on the scale?" No.
There was a scale at our friend's house last night, and it was in the washroom. And so funny because I looked at it and I was like, "What are the odds?" I looked at it and I'm like, "Oh, it's a WW scale." That's hilarious because I know they sell them at like Costco, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it going, wow, that's so funny. And it didn't even fathom for me to touch it, but I saw it there.
Clothes still fit. Yeah. Yep. Like I'm still feeling okay. We're not going to let that number destroy us. And this is an experiment. We talked to you guys about experimentation, right? We talked to you guys about trying different things on your journey to see what can and can't you do. We're trying to see is for a month without weighing, can we get to the end of the month and are we still in the same range at the beginning of the month?
Are we actually able to do what WW says we can do, which is only weigh in once a month
for a lifetime
members? Are we able to do that? Because we've never done it.
We've never done it. It's always been daily or weekly recorded, but it was always daily weigh-ins.
Daily weigh-ins for us.
Because that's the way we've always done it. Even when we didn't care about the scale number, we still checked because it didn't bother us anymore.
But it gave us carte blanche sometimes.
Yeah, we realized there's one thing.
One little faux pas about doing that.
When we used to weigh in and numbers were going down, like, oh, we could have something
Thai
extra.
Thai food to
woo, woo. Yeah.
And that's not how our mentality should be. We should not associate weight loss with adding more food.
We answered Carmen's next question, which was, have we been tempted to look at the scale? Not once. I even saw it the other day when I was cleaning the windows because it's in the cupboard where the window washing stuff is. And I was like, oh, there you are.
I forgot to wrap it. I wanted to wrap it and I forgot to wrap it. Maybe I'll wrap it and I'll give it to him for our 10-year wedding anniversary. Hi, honey, here's your gift.
Yay! We should open it. We should still wrap it.
I'll wrap it.
Yeah, we'll wrap it. We'll unwrap it when we actually.
I'll wrap it in black.
And we'll open it when we are weighing in the first time. We'll open it when we do our first weigh-in again on October 2nd. So you want to talk about this one next?
I don't even get to pick.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Okay.
You want to talk about this one? You see? Look at that.
Sorry, I forgot.
I'm not bossy. I don't tell you what to do. I think I'm gonna pick.
I gave you one. You didn't want it to pick.
I don't know which one you picked. That's the funny part about it. I'm gonna do this one. It's from Terry Lynn. She sent it via email, and it was, "I reached my goal, and now I'm lifetime. When you guys do this, how did you get over the fear of gaining your weight back? For example, I know on October 2nd,
she can't do her step class.
I can't do the step class." And this has really thrown me off because I know I'm not going to be able to do any exercise that day. I'll be too busy and I'm terrified that I'm going to gain the weight back. Is there something you use to help you over the fear of eating out with others because you don't control what you eat, missing exercise and not panicking over it? That's a great question.
That's a great question.
A fantastic question. And we lost power. We're losing power over there, unfortunately. That is a fantastic question. And it's a very interesting question because I will say this, for a long time at the beginning of our journey, because this is the struggle. We did not meet lifetime at the same time.
A year apart, actually.
We were a year apart. I hit lifetime. So I had to learn how to figure out to maintain while Nick was still in weight loss mode. And what I did is I never changed my perception on what I could and cannot do. The only difference is I knew I had additional points now. So I was able to eat more because of the 6 extra points that you get for maintenance. But I still treated the plan as if I was on weight loss mode. So I did not think in my head I was going to lose weight because I knew the extra points was there built in to allowing me to maintain. And the question about the exercise part is a very tricky question because we at times still, in my mind, to this day say, oh my God, I haven't worked out in a day and a half, or I haven't got my double ring. I'm going to gain weight. I say it. We still say it. We fear. And I don't think
we're serial weight gainers.
We're serial weight gainers.
Like for a lot of us, it's been a lifetime of weight gain.
Ups and downs.
So we always have that back of our head that could come back.
But I've now built in some confidence now because it's been 3 years, right? 3 or 4 going on 4 now that we've maintained. 3 years that we've maintained the 100-pound weight loss, or at least 90 pounds.
And I think that's what I want to touch upon. We always talk about our ranges, right?
Mm-hmm.
The range of weight that when we get to, we feel that, oh, we have to start being careful because we're getting too high and close to our range. And so for us, that's what's kind of helped us stop worrying about the weight gain. We know that if we get to a certain threshold, then we have to go back to basics, right? We talk about going back to basics, just tracking religiously, eating healthy, making sure that we're as good as we can back on track, because we know that's what works. But when we're trying to maintain, we give ourselves some levers and we try to learn how we can live in that lever land, like Leverland. Leverland.
But we do it together.
We do it together. And again, we experiment. We try different things
together.
Together, water. But that's what we try to do, different things. We try to make sure that everything we're doing is always trying to make us continue on this journey. So I think for you, Terry Lynn, the thing I want to say is, give yourself some kudos. Yeah. You've gotten here for a while. You know stuff. You know what you're doing now. You've gotten accustomed. This one day won't destroy your years of work that you've been doing.
Definitely. And I love that process.
And the way you go to that day is you go through it. Remember, you said it. You might not be doing your exercise, but you'll be busy that day. That busyness might be, I'll be walking around with going somewhere, or I'm going to an event and I'm going to be dancing at this event, or I'm going somewhere where I'm going to be doing something that I'm not normally doing. So you have to take that into consideration as well. You're not just sitting at home doing nothing, eating, dessert all day. And that's the difference that you're doing right now.
And what hurts you from saying to your friends or whoever you're with, and if you're sitting around and it's a nice day out, why don't you make the suggestion and say, why don't we go out and chat for a walk and chat instead? Like, why do we have to sit and chat? Yeah. We can come back and sit, but let's go for a little walk. Even if it's a 30-minute walk, a 15-minute walk.
We did that with our friend Lisa a few weeks ago. She came to visit. She came over and we're like, we're still not done our activity.
She just did a 4-hour drive and we're like, let's go for a 5-kilometer walk.
And we made her work. By the end, she was like, wow, you guys do this every day? I was like, yes, we do. We walk this. Well, not anymore because it's cold out now. So now we've gone back to working indoors.
And I love what you said there, Michelle. Like your coach said, keep doing what you're doing. I think what happens is when you're first in this whole new stages of lifetime and, you're still you're a newbie. It's a new world for you. And you're going to have to learn to adapt to that. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen is once you start experimenting with what it is to go out and what choices to make and go look at that menu. Ask them what they're going to be making. What stops? Why are we so afraid saying, hey, what are we having for dinner? Not that you're going to make them change the menu, but at least in your mind, you can be mentally prepared ahead of time to say, okay, well, I know how many points this is. I know what this is. I know I can have a little bit and not feel guilty and then not offend anyone for not eating anything either.
Exactly. So I hope that answers your question. We still fear it. So it's not that the fear's gone. We still sometimes I look at myself like, oh no, it's a time I'm getting I feel this. We both get those still sometimes. So it's not like it's gone away, but it's better now because we've learned it's been 3 years that we've been doing this. Like the 100 pounds has been lost for 3 years. And that's what keeps us kind of in that mindset, which kind of goes to this question we have on Facebook here from Heather. And I wanted to actually answer it. She said, you said you struggled with weight for a long time. What was it that finally clicked and made you stick with the healthy lifestyle? Our health issues. We've shared this a few times. Not having high blood pressure, being put on blood pressure medication at the age of 34 was a wake-up call for me. I know where my family history is, and I was like, I'm already here at 34. I'm not going to be around past 50. That was my mentality. That's the first thing. It was like a red alarm. I was like, you need to do something now. And I told him this. I said, Jean-Luc, you're going to lose me. Like, I'm telling you right now, if we don't work at this together as a couple like we do everything else, we're not going to be a couple forever like we want to do, or as long as we want to be together. And then that kind of
it was the same thing for me. And I'll be honest with you. A lot of people know this. A lot of people don't. I have a fear of doctors. I'm petrified of going to the doctor. But this is the first time
I'm so proud. I used to book appointments for him behind his back.
You have to book it because I did not want to go. I was so scared.
The first time with the dentist,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm still afraid of the dentist. The dentist scare me more than the doctors now.
First appointment because he wouldn't go, and I said, you're going. That's it.
Even for my bursitis, I was like, okay, I had let it go for a week. And it was like a month now. And I'm like, okay, you know what? It's not getting better. And I'm like, I'm going to have to call the doctor. And I'm like, I can't let him do this. I have to do it myself. This is my issue. So I called the doctor. I made an appointment. Even when I was talking to her, and I wasn't going to talk about a physical because I'm like, that means I need to go get tests done and I don't want to go test.
Extra tests.
But when she said to me, she's like, I said, I mentioned something about this. And she's like, oh no, because you had asked me, ask her
Yes.
about our physicals. And I said, oh, should we get physicals? And the doctor says, oh, we really don't look for people anymore above 40 to get physicals. And I'm like, well, I'm 44. And she goes, oh, I guess we need to get blood work for you. And I was like, oh,
yes,
yay.
I still have 2 years.
But what was funny is back in the day, that would have created a lot of anxiety for me. I would have been in a stress. And I will say this today.
I want to say one thing.
Can I finish my thought first?
I want to
let me finish my thought.
Go ahead. You're gonna understand mine.
Because today, when I was sitting on at the counter, I did notice at one point I went to a thought of, oh my God, I'm going for blood test tomorrow, and I felt my heart rate I could feel my heartbeat go up, my blood pressure go up, my face got red, and I went and I looked at my watch and I went to see my heart rate, and my heart rate was at 92 beats per minute, which I know, anywhere between 100 and below, like there's that range, but I could tell that my heart, that's not my normal heart rate, and especially for just sitting there, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's fine. You're just going for blood work. And that was the first time I've ever been able to tell myself, it's okay. You're just going for blood work. It's one thing at a time. Why am I going to jump to conclusions before? And that's the same thing with Terry Lynn. Not jump to a conclusion that you're going to overeat next week when you go to that thing. You might not. So why think so far ahead?
White coat syndrome, Rosie. That's exactly
the
it.
white coat syndrome.
And Jean-Luc, what I wanted to add is Jean-Luc is like I was saying earlier about the hypochondriac. Jean-Luc, whenever he feels something, he thinks, oh, I have cancer, or I'm done. Like my life is over. And I think a lot of us go into that mind space. Think of the last time you hurt yourself doing an activity. I'm pretty sure 90% of us went to the thought, oh my God, what if this is the end?
I'll never be able to do it again.
I'll never be able to do that class again, that walk again, that interpret again.
I broke my wrist and I never thought I'd interpret again.
We all go through that mindset. And I think that's the thing. I think to get yourself out of that rut is you have to remember that 90% of the time that these instances happened, you got out of it and fine. And that's the thing. A lot of us go to that dark despair of depression, which happens. I'm not going to say it's easy to get out of, but sometimes you have to talk to yourself and have a conversation with your inner self to say, hey, yes, you hurt yourself today. Your knee might hurt today, but a month ago, you hurt your foot and that went away and you're able to continue again. Now, of course, if the pain continues, you have to go get it checked out. But I'm just saying things come back. A lot of us come back from these injuries and are able to do stuff again.
And I love what you said there, Lois, too. No news is no news. So the fear of not knowing something is not any better than the fear of knowing it, because if you don't know it, how can you prevent it, or how can you help it?
And that's what I tell him all the time. That's one of the arguments I use against him to get him to go to the doctors. I was like, hon, I know you're scared of having something, but going to the doctors doesn't mean you don't have it. It means you might have it and not know about it. And then if you don't go get checked, how are you going to know not to try to do something to prevent it from getting worse?
It's kind of funny because it's just like COVID, right?
Yeah.
You might not know you have it because we don't, right? Yeah. Like it's one of those things. And Patricia, we absolutely adore you. And yes, I can't even understand what it is to be a cancer survivor and have to see doctors as well. And my mom is also a cancer survivor. So I can only imagine what the thoughts are for somebody who's already gone through something so life-changing.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it's I think all of us go through these fears, and I think talking about them sometimes, and that's why he started to talk to me about those fears, because talking out loud sometimes lets you really just vocalize what you're feeling. And once you actually say it, sometimes that pressure of that those thoughts you have inside are released and you actually can move on. I think that's what a lot of people need. Therapy is good for a lot of people because you actually get to sit down and talk to someone and get to lay out all that you're feeling without any repercussions or anybody saying something back to you, right?
And I'm going to say one thing. Find a doctor that you're comfortable with.
Yeah. We love our doctor.
Like
she's downstairs.
She's so like I'd only met her on Zoom 2 years ago when we first moved here, because we needed to find new doctors that were local. We wanted to find someone that was closer because we didn't want to travel to Brampton every time we went to the doctors. And I met her in person and she was so calming to me. Like she did not walk in with a white coat, which loved even more. She walked in blue scrubs. So I was like, I love you.
No white coat syndrome.
No. So that's a really, really important thing too. Finding that doctor that you feel comfortable with, because you have to share some things that you might not want to share.
Exactly.
Right?
So our next question, do you want to take this one?
Sure.
I just highlighted one right
Oh,
there.
okay. So it's from Rose. So Rose asked this question, says, Nick and Jean-Luc, your arms look great.
Thank you.
Do you guys lift weights? How did you get your arms to firm up? I'm curious if your female peeps lose their bat wings when they lose weight. Praying there's hope for me.
So
yet.
there's still
We still have some.
like there's still some, like it's not as much as other people. I have a lot. Me, it's all down here. So I'll actually show you guys. Like I have all this down here.
So
that's my extra skin. I have a lot of it, so it's not pretty. And it doesn't go away fully. For our arms, what really helped us with our arms was the Stairmaster. Believe it or not, when we were working out at the beginning of our journey, when we were losing weight, we were doing the Stairmaster. And what it did for us is that when you're holding yourself up, you're constantly having that strength of holding yourself up, right? So for an hour holding yourself up, you're basically working your muscles the entire hour. And that's how we started firming up our arms. We also started using weights during our walking classes in the beginning of the year this year. We're actually going to be doing that again soon. So grab a weight when you're doing a walking class, a 2-pound weight, a 1-pound weight, anything. If you're doing a body with Antonetta.
When you're sitting at night watching TV, what's stopping you from doing a few of these? A few arm raises. Don't do it with tennis elbow though. It doesn't help. Doesn't help on the tennis elbow side. So I'm gonna have one really nice non-bat wing, and then this one will still be bad.
Additionally, Rosie did say it is also harder for women to harden that up. Definitely. And also with age, like I'll be honest, guys. All of us have this dream of when I lose my weight, I'm gonna look like this. Abs. I'll be all buff. I'll have like a tan again. Even though I'm not tan ever, but for some reason, when I see my vision of me at the Adonis body, that's what you envision. And sometimes when you get to the end of your journey, you don't have that body. It's a hard thing to take. Having the bat wings, having the extra belly stomach fat, having the Shar-Pei butts that I do, right? Having the extra skin on your legs and your butt, that happens. And that's the thing. Sometimes you fear having that because you're like, oh my God, I'm not going to look great. But why does it matter? You're healthy.
Stop calling them bat wings.
Yeah,
call them angel wings.
Angel wings.
Call them angel wings. I know that sounds funny, but it's a small little change that makes you think of it in a good way instead of thinking of it in a bad way. Right? So the words we use to describe ourselves, we're not fat. And I know we're fluffy. And I know that small change, and that sounds silly, but again, not fat. Fat makes you feel bad. It makes you feel big. Fluffy, I think something fluffy. I look at something plush. I want to cuddle it. And I'm not saying that we need to change absolutely everything, but those little words, if those little key words that trigger you to make you think negative, change it to a positive word so you don't look at it in the same way. And I love what Jana said too about the elliptical. Elliptical is a great arm workout. As well. If you're able to do both, because not many can do both at the same time. I
actually used to do the elliptical, like holding the
We'd hold on and be like,
I would run with my hands. So
we could never get the arm motion and the legs fast enough.
Exactly. So I hope that answers your question, Rose. And again, it's all about doing the best you can, right? It's not about becoming a beach bikini babe or a beach bikini dude.
Oh, you can still become a beach bikini babe. I think what ends up happening is we need to love our bodies
for whatever they are
and not be ashamed of who we become after weight loss.
Yeah.
I think we've been so ashamed of ourselves as bigger individuals. We can't be ashamed of ourselves. And even anybody during their journey, if you could remove that shame, because it's not shameful. It's not shameful.
Exactly.
It is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. And we still have our moments, right?
I talked to Jean-Luc this morning about one of those moments when we were doing, we had dinner on Friday.
Well, we had dinner every night.
One night we had dinner. I put a shirt on. I had pants on. And I saw myself there. I was like, wow, I look good tonight. Like, I love this ensemble. Went to dinner, done. Yesterday, when we did the body event, when I was on camera watching myself doing the class, the entire class, my brain was, oh my God, I'm so big. I look terrible. I can see the lines here. I can see my belly. I can see this.
Yes.
But that was what was going on in my head. I went from the day before going from I look so great to the next morning going, I look terrible. See what happens even after losing all that weight, my brain still goes there.
Well, what did I say last night after you showed me a picture that was online with me, you and Antonetta? And I don't say this very often. These words do not come out.
It's like the sighting of Bigfoot.
And he showed me the picture and I was like, damn, I'm hot. And I said it out loud. I was like, I went, yay! I applauded.
I
couldn't believe those words came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? we need to say it to ourselves sometimes. We do.
You need to appreciate yourself.
We need to.
No matter what you're looking at or you look like, someone out there will think you're amazing. We think you're amazing, and the outer shell does not
just
matter.
an outer
it's
shell.
just an outer shell.
It's what's in here and
that
it's
matters.
what's in there.
Because
those are the two most important parts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we both fell in love with each other as bigger guys. So we know for us we love each other no matter what. It has nothing to do.
When he lets me talk.
I think you talk all the time. What do you mean? It's like you're making me sound like I'm such a tyrant.
So mean. You guys don't know what happens when the cameras are off.
They do. They saw it yesterday.
That was all a facade. So we want to pick another question?
Yeah, you want to do the next one, or you want me to pick it on?
I'll pick one.
Okay.
I like this one. Nisha's question. If your life was a TV show, what would you name it? And I found the name of mine. You want me to give you mine first?
Yeah, because I don't have one.
I'm gonna sing it because that's what it is. The Never-Ending Story.
That's a movie.
But that would be my TV show.
But there's
name.
Another movie question.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm answering this one. And for me, then my TV show would be. They've made TV shows out of movies.
Not that one. That one's never been a TV show.
It doesn't matter. I'm
calling foul. No, you can pick whatever you want.
It's the Never-Ending Story. That is my story. I like how he says it's a bad one, but 2 minutes ago, when I was on the couch, it's like, that's a great name.
I know what mine is.
What's yours?
Survivor. That's mine. Survivor. Guys, I had a dream.
But you're picking a real TV show, so that's fun too.
No, it says, what is your life as a teacher? What will you name it? Yeah, Survivor.
So you can name it whatever you want.
Yeah, but I'm naming it Survivor.
Yeah. You are a survivor. I'm a survivor.
And why? Because for me, it's one of my favorite shows, and I always wanted to get
honeymooners.
I always wanted to go to on the show, because at the time everybody was talking about the Survivor diet, and you go on a show, you lose like 100 pounds. I was like, oh my god, I'll go on the show, I'll have fun, I'll lose some weight, I'll get a tan, I'll be all dirty for a few weeks, which is not exactly the best.
He won't even do a foam run. How is he gonna go live on Survivor?
I won't even do mud girl or anything like that. I won't even get dirty.
It's not gonna happen. He'd be the one in the corner going, don't touch me, you're dirty. Don't touch me, you're dirty. Don't touch me, you're dirty. But yeah, Survivor and the Never-Ending Story, because I honestly look at this as being things that I want to do forever. Like I'd love to have, no, I don't think I want to live forever, but I want the story to keep on going. I want the story to continue.
So we had a question on TikTok that I actually want to touch. We've never talked about this. How did we come out?
Oh,
how did we come out? So that's something that actually we've never really shared much.
Have we not talked about that?
So I came out when I was about 25. I was in university. I was very depressed leading up to the time I came out. I was actually over 300 pounds at the time. I had created a narrative in my head that because I was gay, I was not worth being with anyone. I assumed because being gay was a bad thing, so I could never tell anyone. So I assumed I'd be alone for the rest of my life. I was very depressed. Yes, let's just say that it was not a good time. I told my best friend in university, the first person I told, and within a week I had told my mom and dad and my sister. Well, I told my sister, and then stuff happened there too, because my sister found out about how I was feeling in my mental state. So my parents found out, and so let's just say by the end of that week, a bunch of people had found out, and no one changed, no one disowned me, no one said anything bad about me. Everyone accepted me for who I was. I was lucky. There's people out there who are not as lucky as I am. I was lucky that my family and friends, everybody was still around and still wanted to be with me. So I'm grateful that I had that experience for myself.
Yeah, I was about the same age. I was 25 when I came out. I questioned it my entire life. I always was, am I gay? And I never say it out loud. It was always in my head.
Yeah. So it was an inner conversation.
And it wasn't until I graduated from the sign language program. I was in college and I graduated from the program and I went to my first RID, which is the Registered Interpreters for the Deaf Conference. And at that time, there was an interpreter, a good friend, not even a colleague at the time, I'm sorry, but a mentor of mine who was an interpreter. And we were there, and I was there with a bunch of ladies and himself, and we go to a gay bar, my very first gay bar. I'd never been to a gay bar. I was nervous as beyond belief. I was petrified in my head going, oh my God, I can't be seen in a gay bar, blah, blah, blah. We get there. And as we watch a show, there's a few cabaret singers. We leave, and the male friend who is gay, who is a mentor interpreter of mine, looks at me and says, you're not staying? And I was like, no, I'm not staying. I'm leaving with the ladies. I'm leaving. I can't stay. And we left. And come to find out later on, he's like, I thought you were gay. I thought you were out. I had no clue you weren't. And I'm like, no. I went home after that. I was in Chicago, and I sent him an email, and I wrote out this email to him saying, I'm so confused. I don't know who to talk to. You're the only person that I've spoken to who's openly gay. And he's like, come over for dinner. So of course, Jean-Luc, never meeting a gay couple before,
based on
what television showed me and what TV said and what the news said and what religion was saying, I'm like, oh my God, they want me to come over, and it's gonna be, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. And you
can be honest.
I was scared of sex. I was scared of wanting things that I was not ready to do, and my mind went to the complete extreme. But I said, you know what? I need to talk to someone. And so he lived in Michigan. So we made a night where I drove into the States, and I went over to dinner, and him and his partner were there. And no lie, I walked up to the door, nervous can be. I was probably sweaty as hell. He opens the door, and I walked in and went, oh my God, this is like the prettiest house I've ever been into in my life. This place is gorgeous. I'm like, I want to live here. I was like, and it was such an insane feeling. They brought me to the backyard. They cooked me dinner, and his partner was so respectful that he's like, I know you're here to talk to Dan, and I don't want to be here. You don't know me. And if you want me to leave, I'll bring dinner inside the house and eat, and you and Dan can talk alone. And I'm like, I can't do that. You're making me dinner. And it was the most comfortable conversation I had ever had. And we talked about a lot, and they opened up a lot about their relationship. And I talked about my feelings. And it was the first time, I'll never forget, I got into my car and I was driving home. And it was the very first time in my life that I said, I'm gay. I finally said those words out loud, and it was as easy as a flip from the MI to I am. And so I'm asking you all to make those I am statements, because they are so important. They are important in every single facet of your journey and your life.
Definitely.
Every single one. So never forget
I think that's the first time we shared that. Yeah. So I love getting these questions, everyone. So it's just, like it's coming out that we've talked in the past is not an easy experience. So for people who don't understand it, what it feels like, for me, the way I can relate to you to kind of explain it, it's when you accept that, when you realize you're gay, and you might know from a young age, but you don't want to accept it because you know it, the society tells you it's wrong. But you also have to come to terms with it. When you tell people, you might lose friends, you might lose family, you might not be able to do things you were going to expect it to do in life because you're gay. And that's the mentality I had back then. I was like, maybe might not advance my career. There's so many stories of people who back in the day, who, when they were gay at work, they were fired because of their sexuality. So all these thoughts go in your head as a kid going, oh my God, I can't be this because I'm not going to have a future. And that's really hard to come to terms with.
Other than meeting Nick and marrying him, the best decision I ever made in my life was coming out. That was the best decision.
It's led to where I'm at today.
If it wasn't for that,
can you imagine if we couldn't have been together? If we had to live the life of sadness we had before, I would never have lost my weight. I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have. Why bother? Why extend my life past 50 when I have nothing else out there for me to continue? Because I knew for me back then, my thought was I'll never find somebody to be with because I'll never be gay, because that's wrong. And I couldn't be with a woman. I knew I couldn't do it. I could be, some men can do that. Some men, which is not even, and I don't want to say it's a bad thing. I'm just saying some men don't realize till later they're gay, they get married and have children. I could have never done that. I knew inside myself, I had no attraction to women. So I was really hard on myself with trying to figure out who I was.
And I think Gwen said something here that I'd like to mention. And it's like, she says, I like to think that it doesn't happen nowadays, and it still does. However, there are so many more role models out there.
That's why we're on here. And that's one of the reasons why we do this.
I'm so,
like this weekend, seeing the girls,
oh
like
my goodness,
Maddie, Tia, and Mila, like seeing them, like they just Jean-Luc and Nick, they're a guy couple together. And it's like normal that they didn't say that.
Knowing my niece and nephew go to school and say my uncle and my auntie.
Yeah.
And that's normal to them, and they don't see any difference.
Yeah.
And it is sad that there are still people out there that are ostracized because of it. But It is getting better, but we need allies.
Yes, and that's what you all do here.
Allies.
That's what all of you are doing here today, and being here with us and supporting us. It's supporting us being together, right? As being a couple, which we love. It's one of the things.
Us for who we are.
It's one of the scariest things when we started our YouTube channel, because we were both like, we're gonna get hate. People might not like us because we're gay.
But we got way more love than hate.
So it's thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I did want to talk about Carmen's question before we end the show, because it is 8 o'clock. So I want to talk about the lobster thing. Want to explain lobsters?
Lobsters. Oh my goodness. So lobsters comes from Friends, the TV episodes. So we all know the famous Ross and Rachel love story, triangle. No. We were on a break.
Right.
But okay. So of course, Phoebe, who is we all know Phoebe, had always told Ross that Rachel and him were lobsters, because apparently lobsters, when they meet in the ocean or wherever, they mate for life.
Yeah.
Like once a lobster meets their significant other, they are lobsters. They are mates for life. So that's why we always call each other lobsters, because each other's lobster. Because when we created the lobster hands,
we go like this.
Lobster
we do this.
Yeah, that's
so sometimes we'll be in bed and you're like, you're my lobster, and we'll go like this. So
I bit my lip.
Oh no.
Lobster.
So that's the whole lobster story. So thank you everyone for joining us this week.
I like how Nisha even says, she says it like she wrote it like Phoebe said it.
He's her lobster.
He's her lobster.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone for joining us on all platforms today. It's kind of insane. We didn't think we'd have like this many people join us on all the platforms. There's people on TikTok, on Instagram. We had people all night on every platform.